Hello and welcome to Lesson 2 of Creating Music with Technology. In this lesson we'll be focusing on elements of written music, more specifically rhythm. A lot of music is written down and communicated using music notation. This is all of the dots, lines, and squiggles that make up what you're probably familiar with seeing on a page of music. What you're seeing in the background of the video right now is a score of written music I'm working on myself. The score is pretty complex and has a lot of different elements to it. The main elements we're going to be focusing on in our lessons are rhythm and pitch. Pitch is how high or low a sound is perceived to be. Listen to the following sounds. Can you tell which one is higher or lower? In written music, these pitches are assigned a note that is written higher or lower on a music staff. This can communicate to the musician which pitch should be played. Rhythm tells you when sounds happen over time. Both rhythm and pitch are often used together to tell you how high or low a sound is and when it should happen over time. It's possible to only have pitches assigned and not know what rhythm they have, and it's also possible to have rhythms with no pitches assigned. Check out this next example to show you what I mean. Here are all the notes to a song you might know played all at once with no rhythm to tell you when they occur. Can you recognize the song? Probably not. Now here's that same song with the rhythms assigned but without the pitches. Can you recognize it now? You might be able to tell what it is, but without pitch, it's still pretty difficult. Now here's the same song, with the pitches we heard earlier combined with the rhythm we just heard. Can you recognize it? So you can see how rhythm and pitch can often work together. Let's talk about how we write rhythms and the symbols that we use. First, we have the music staff. These are the lines and spaces across which notes are written. The higher a note is on the staff, the higher it sounds. Next, we have the clef. A clef is what tells you what spaces and lines indicate which notes. There are a bunch of different types of clefs. The one we'll be using for this course is called the treble clef. You've probably seen it. The treble clef is also called a G clef, and it indicates where the note G is played. For this lesson, we're focusing on rhythm, so all of the notes we're going to use are going to be G on the second line. We'll talk about what the other lines and spaces indicate in our next lesson on pitch. Next, we have perhaps the most important part, the time signature. This indicates the beat. By that I mean how many of what kind of note occur in a given amount of time. That given amount of time is what we call a measure, or a bar. These measures, or bars, are separated from each other by bar lines. Back to the time signature. The time signature tells you how many of what kind of note fit into each measure. The bottom number in a time signature tells you what kind of note is used. We'll talk a little bit more about this later, but right now we're going to be using a time signature 4/4, and the bottom number being 4 means that the type of note is a quarter note. The top number indicates how many of that kind of note occur in each measure. So in 4/4, there would be 4 quarter notes each measure. But let's take a step back real quick. What is a quarter note? First, we need to talk a little bit more about how measures are divided. In 4/4, the longest note you can have that fills an entire measure is called a whole note. In 4/4, that means this note gets 4 beats. When you divide a whole note in half, you get a half note. Makes sense? There are 2 half notes per measure in 4/4, and each one gets 2 beats. When you divide a half note in half, you get a quarter note. In 4/4, each measure has 4 quarter notes, and each quarter note gets 1 beat. Now this is where things get a little bit strange. When you divide a quarter note in half, you get an eighth note, meaning that there are 8 of these notes in a measure in 4/4. But now, there are more notes than beats. So each beat gets 2 eighth notes. Each eighth note is 1/2 of a beat. Now there's one thing we've left out. It's how fast these beats occur. The tempo tells us how fast beats occur in beats per minute. Take a listen to what this sounds like at 120 beats per minute. This is written as quarter note equals 120 because the beat in 4/4 is equal to a quarter note. Let's listen. Now listen to the same piece played at 200 beats per minute. Notice anything different? It's a little bit faster. That's because there are more beats happening in the same amount of time. So what if you want there to be a place in your music where there isn't a note playing? You can do this with a rest. Rests follow the same rules as notes. In 4/4, a whole rest fills the entire measure and takes up 4 beats. A half rest fills up half the measure and takes 2 beats. A quarter rest takes 1 beat, and an eighth rest takes half a beat. Each one of these rests is the same length as its note counterpart. Now let's combine the notes from earlier with rests to create some unique rhythms. When we combine notes and rests in different ways, we can get all sorts of different rhythms and make all kinds of creative music. There are a lot of other ways to divide and combine notes to make unique rhythms. This has just been an introduction. If you've been interested in what we've been talking about today, I suggest that you take a look at the features in MuseScore and explore the other time signatures and the other tempos. See what you can make. Investigate and create whatever you feel like. In my experience, creating great music just comes from exploring, following your interests, and messing around. I hope you enjoyed lesson 2 of Creating Music with Technology, Elements of Written Music, Rhythm. Join me for our next Elements of Written Music lesson where we'll be talking about pitch. Thanks for watching. My name is Ian. Tune in next time for more Creating Music with Technology.